In last session, we have studied about the Cold War. What is the concept of Cold War? Cold War is a situation in which there is not an actual war, but the situation is so tense that it can be responsible for the Cold War. Now, in this struggle, now in this Cold War, during this Cold War, the countries were trying to make themselves superpower by increasing its military might. The struggle for power, arms race, differences in ideologies means there were countries which were some countries were capitalist economy, some were socialist economy, and the attitude of checkmating each other by strategies. Now, what are the strategies? Strategies are the plans made by the countries to defeat the other country. And the counter strategy means the other country will try to make that plan of the other country to make it ineffective. That is counter strategy. These all things gave rise to Cold War. Now, children, we are going to study about the effects of Cold War. Creation of military organization. During the Cold War, both the superpowers created military organization. The respective superpowers took up the responsibility of giving security. Means America was giving security to the countries joining with the military power led by them. And the NATO is a North Atlantic Treaty Organization, was a military organization under the dominance of America, while the Warsaw Pact was a military organization under the command of Soviet Union. Soviet Union was a socialist state in Eurasia, that is Europe and Asia. Now, children, we are going to study about the. Now, what is your opinion about? Is there any relation or correlation between the advances in technology and world peace? Yes, there is a close relation between the advances in technology and world peace. Means how we are going to use the technology. It depends on that. That it is going to hammer the world peace or it is going to help the keeping world peace. Now, the superpowers took advantage of the development in arsenal technology and imposed two destructive war on the world. This brought the world peace in danger. But the development in agricultural technology led to the development of poor countries as they got surplus in food grains. In this type of also it is useful. Then due to globalization, different types of economics got connected with each other. So it depends on how we are going to use the technology. Now, how can technology be used for human welfare? New technology should be used in such a way that it gives higher yields or higher production to the farmers at lower cost. The network of roads and railways now have reached in villages also. Then the water transport should be increased because of this, where water is not available in summers. Then the advent of the developed technology, more and more small scale industries are set up, which generates employment opportunities and will benefit to the common people to a large extent. Then mass media should be used to provide information on latest technological advancement. Now, in this way, with the help of developed technology, we can make most advanced defense equipment which assures safety of the nation and its people. We should make defense equipment, but we should not use at any time without any purpose. Now, children, we are going to study about the bipolarization of the world. During the Cold War, most of the countries joined either of the two power blocks. Now, bipolarization means the world was divided into two groups, and that most of the countries tried to join the either group, any of the group. Such a division of the nations of the world in two groups is bipolarization. The scope of the Cold War increased due to this, and the sphere of tension increased. As all the countries they joined the two superpower, not all, but most of the countries, they joined the two superpowers, and because of this, the tension was increased in the world. Now, children, I'm going to give you some work. The Cuban Missile Crisis 1962 was an important event in the Cold War. Now, you have to find out more about this event and write in your notebook. This is your homework. Now, we'll see the Communist Revolution took place in 1917 in Russia, and the Soviet Union came into being. The Soviet Union, as I told, it is a part socialist state in Eurasia, that means in Europe and Asia. In a short while, the Soviet Union came up as a superpower in international politics. But there was a extreme differences between America and the Soviet Union. For example, the USA was a democratic state advocating capitalism. It was a capitalist state. While the Soviet Union advocated socialism, it was a socialist state. And a one party authoritarian system, that means limited political freedom, means both the countries means advocated Soviet Union advocated socialism as well as political limited political freedom was given in this country. Both the superpowers wanted to expand their own dominance in the world. America wanted to spread capitalism, whereas Soviet Union wanted to spread socialism. Both countries started making efforts to pull smaller countries into their own blocks, means into their own groups, in order to increase their hegemony, means to increase their dominance or leadership. Means they wanted most of the countries in their own block so that they will be more powerful. As a result, Europe was ideologically divided. Western European countries joined the bloc led by America, while Eastern European countries joined the bloc by Soviet Union. These superpowers espoused the policy of extending military and economic help to the countries in their respective blocs. Means these superpowers supported the policy of extending military power and economic help to those countries which were in their respective groups or blocs. Now, children, we are going to see about the arms race. What is this arms race? The superpower. I think so. You have studied in 8th standard what is the arms race. The superpower started producing arms and armaments on a large scale to outsmart each other. They started a rivalry to make more and more destructive weapons and to acquire the technology required for the same. But soon both the superpowers realized that the arms race may endanger international peace. Means they both blocs or both the groups were trying to prepare a large number of destructive weapons to against each other. But after some time, both realized that whatever we are doing, that will be a danger to the international peace or the world peace. Hence, efforts towards arm control and disarmament also happened during this period. Means afterwards they started to control or to stop preparing arms, and disarmament period was started. Disarmament means not preparing arms. Now, creation of regional organization. Developing nations created regional organizations at the regional level in order to ensure mutual cooperation in the context of the superpower rivalry. They felt that economic development was more important. Now, some countries they thought that we should not, means for them economic development was more important for their country. European countries came together and formed a European Economic Community while the Southeast Asian countries, that is Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, established the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, that is ASEAN. Now, non-aligned movement or non-alignment. In the period of the Cold War, while world was becoming bipolar, means it was divided into two groups. But there were some countries which did not want to join the superpower rivalry. Such nations decided to stay out of the Cold War rivalry, and the policy is known as non-alignment. Non-alignment was an important movement during the Cold War. The Asian non-aligned movement, the Asian and African countries which became independent after the Second World War, means the colonies which were under the rule of other countries became free after the Second World War, supported the idea of non-alignment. This movement started from 1961 under the leadership of India's Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, President of Yugoslavia Marshal Tito, then President of Egypt Gamal Abdel Nasser, President of Indonesia Dr. Sukarno, and Prime Minister of Ghana Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Now, evolution of the non-aligned movement. The non-aligned movement has opposed colonialism. Colonialism is making colonies or ruling the colonies of other countries or ruling the other countries. Imperialism and the glasnost, that is the openness. Due to these policies, the control over the media reduced. The control sorry children, the non-aligned movement has opposed colonialism, imperialism and racism. It has encouraged the resolution of international disputes by peaceful means. India led this movement under the guidance of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. India continued to actively support this movement afterwards also. Even after the end of Cold War, the importance of the movement had not reduced. So India was very active in leading this movement. The non-aligned movement is based on eternal principles of humanism, global peace and equality. It has inspired the less developed countries to come together. It tried not to go with the two super blocs and to be left alone, and tried these movement was dependent on the principles of humanism, global peace and equality. And those less developed countries all came together. It has encouraged the resolution of international disputes by peaceful means. Whatever disputes were there, it was by speaking or by a resolution. The international disputes with the peaceful means were sought out. While taking a firm stand on disarmament, fostering human rights, means encouraging or development of human rights, then not to start arms race, that is disarmament. The non-aligned movement put forth the problems of poor, underdeveloped countries firmly. This movement made a demand of a new international economic order, that is NIEO. Summarizing briefly the significance. Now children, this NIEO, first of all I'll explain this. NIEO is a set of proposals which was kept by the developing countries in 1970s through UN Conference on Trade and Development. This NIEO was started to promote their interest by improving terms of trade in between some countries, then reducing tariff means taxes where the trade is going on, then these all things were demanded by the non-aligned movement. Summarizing briefly, the significance of the non-aligned movement has not reduced, even if the Cold War is over. It inspired the less developed countries to come together. It brought several streams of economic and social changes into international politics. It gave rise, or it gave these countries the confidence to assert themselves with self-respect, or to state a fact with self themselves with self-respect in international politics. Children, the remaining chapter will take tomorrow.